What's up, everybody? Foreskin here. Sold my account. Sold my Tempest account. Made a brand new one. Back to zero on everything. Just so we can build a brand new class called Druid together. From scratch completely, right? Let me turn down my volume here. So it's not so loud. Now, I gotta say, like, the Druid class, and just to show you, just before we get into the Druid, let me just show you. I have nothing. I have no numbers to show, really. I mean, I have no gems. I have no greens. I have nothing, man. Everything's 0, 0, 0. So, I just got all of the skills, and I've been kind of going over all of the skills. And what I have come up with as far as PVE goes, because PvP is a whole nother monster. PvP is a whole nother monster, man. This class has not been developed very well for PvP. I wouldn't say it's terrible. If you're a higher stat type of player, I wouldn't say it's terrible. But then again, anything that you do, if you're like a whale, doesn't really matter. You're going to kill regardless. But if you're a new player coming in, if you are somebody that's looking to get into the Druid class and is looking for like a PvE type of skill combo, gem combo, again, I have really nothing to offer as far as gems go, but I will be speaking about where I'm trying to take the class, you know? First things first, let's go over the skills. I like the werewolf, like as a main. Some people like the werebear. Some people like to be casters. That's fine. Whatever you like, whatever is fun for you, please do that. What is fun for me is the werewolf, because the speed, it has a dash, allowing me to use Harbinger Tree whenever I unlock it, of course. But it's going to allow me to basically run through these dungeons. I really like the werewolf. So the werewolf has 3 attacks: the rend and tear, the lunge, and the howl. The howl is super important when you're doing the werewolf. The howl is going to mark them, right? And when their life drops below 50, they'll take an extra bit of damage, right? So I also have one essence that is on my shoulders, I believe. And when the werewolf, right, I deal increased damage against enemies suffering from a continual damage effect. So I crafted an Everlasting Torment, which is free to craft. Again, I'm trying to do this as free as possible. I'm trying to completely have a new journey in Diablo Immortal as 100% free to play and with a new class just for new players coming in or whatever. So that's enough on that. But one of the essences I do have is that. So it's going to increase the damage by 10% on enemies suffering from a continual damage effect, which is a dot. Basically, it's a dot. Any kind of damage that the enemy sustains that continues on after you've tagged them with it already, right? So that helps. And at the same time, I'm also rocking for that let me find it here. Okay, so it's right here. Rend and tear can be used under the effects of total loss of control. That sounds like it's kind of for PvP, but I mean, not really, as like, you know, not really. What I have been doing, to go back to the skills, is the werewolf with the grizzly, right? The summon grizzly, summon wolves, and the fire tornado. So the idea behind this build is to kind of get through the dungeon quickly, to get through open world farming quickly, and kind of get my essences up so that I can create more builds, right? But as far as like starting out brand new, and just if you just get all of the skills first, if you unlock all of the skills first, that will allow you to make this build that I got here. So this is like just the first thing I've ever made, and I'm still getting the hang of the class. But the grizzly, the reason that I chose the summons is mainly to charge my werewolf. So yeah, they do damage. It's not so bad. The wolves, not as much damage as the grizzly. And the fire tornado, no, not as much as the grizzly, but definitely more than the wolves. And it also paves the way for perhaps a like a fire wind, you know, something like that, which I have yet to discover. But the reason I have these two right here is because they charge me up. So the grizzly will charge up my primal power when used, and so will the wolves, and so will the fire tornado. But these two have like a higher, well, the fire tornado has a bit higher than the wolves, but the fire tornado procs on its own, so I don't really have to worry about it, which is something that I love about the fire tornado. It will burn the enemies, right? And this essence that I have on it says fire tornado unleashes an explosion at a target location, dealing blah, 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 and damage causing them to burn. So that burning effect is going to be basically a dot, right? And Everlasting Torment is going to also be popping on that once I critical hit them. And I have a Mystery Elixir as well that's going to extend all of that. Hopefully I'll get a 2-piece Barons here soon, and I can get some things going like that for the build. Now, the idea behind this is, let me use up some of my primal power real quick. So, see how it's using the primal instinct? It's using my primal instinct here, so I'm going to cancel that. So the reason I have the bear and the wolves is because when I activate them, it charges me really quickly. So it allows me to do that at an instant and immediately be able to transform into a werewolf, and then start procking this one right here, which is just setting people on fire as doing a little bit of damage when they get hit with it. So let's go find a open world mob just so you can see an idea, because there is a certain way you have to activate the wolf when you're doing stuff. So when you activate the wolf, you want to run in, right? You want to run in and you want to howl. Immediately you want to do that howl. And you want to try to basically run into the first mob you see and howl at them so that you can get as many marks as possible. And hopefully when you start clawing them, this tornado will proc and burn them and charge you up as you're consuming your primal power. So let's find a bigger mob here. So I would charge up. Boom, I'm charged, right? Using those two summons that I said as a charging source. And then it's just a matter of finding a mob and just kind of running in. If I can find a mob here. Okay, so it doesn't seem like somebody's been farming this area. But that's okay. So you also want, another important thing about this is you want to cancel whenever you're not using it, right? You want to cancel. You want to charge up a bit, and then you want to pounce in. Oh yeah, see, this guy's been farming it. So, all right, so forget the open world. But like I was saying, the most important thing you can do as well, or one of the most important things you can do, is cancel whenever there's no enemies around, so that you're not using up your primal power for absolutely no reason, right? You can just cancel that. It costs you nothing except for a 7-second cooldown. But if I want to charge this up, it charges up quite quickly using those summons, and then I can get to where I need to go. For this example, let's just go into a tower now, just so you can kind of see what's going on. So let's go into a tower here. So like I said, you want to charge up, right? Maybe hit him with a couple of these, charge you up, turn into a werewolf, pounce in, you want to howl, and then you want to kind of like hit him like that. You want to claw at them a couple of times, and you want to do primary a couple of times, and so on and so forth. Now when the enemies are done, you want to make sure you cancel your transformation to, even if it's like a little bit of power, it doesn't matter. So that you can go ahead and charge up again, transform. Then you want to run at them, howl, claw them, boom, boom, boom. They should be dead quite quickly. And remember, I have 0 stats right now. I have absolutely 0 stats. So the fact that I have 0 stats and I'm able to do this amount of damage, I think has a very promising look for the class. I'm a little distracted talking to you guys, so I'm not really being as efficient as I can be. I could be killing a lot faster. But again, you want to Let's wait for my cooldown for the grizzly here so you can see how fast it charges me up again. I'm not really trying to do a speed run here. I'm just trying to show you like a technique that I found to be effective, right? For the werewolf transformation. So you do the bear, you do the wolves, you transform, you rush in, you pounce, boom, 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 they're dead. And your summons will be taking care of everybody that's behind you. You see how the bear is attacking everybody behind me? Just let them, you want to claw them a couple times, like the enemies. You want to pounce in, you want to claw them a couple times. Let me cancel that. You want to claw them a couple times, and then you want to move on to the next mob in order for your summons to kind of finish the job. I mean, you have 3 summons, let them do some work. So again, I'm going to wait for this cooldown. I'm going to charge up to full, and then I'm going to pounce in on this boss, and let's see how fast we can do it. Again, let me show you my stats. I have nothing, no greens, no gems. The only things that I'm using that I personally crafted was the Mother's Lament, the Everlasting Torment, and the Misery Elixir. So the Misery Elixir and the Everlasting Torment are going to go hand in hand with the tornado that's burning him. So that's a couple of burns. Now, the werewolf, when you turn into the werewolf, I already went over this. You want to make sure you're pouncing in, you're howling first, and then you're clawing a couple times, primary a couple times, clawing a couple times. You want to do it in intervals because you want this tornado here to proc. So we charge up, and then we pound, we run in, we howl, we get a mark, then we claw. Couple times claw, and you just kind of keep doing that in a repetitive mode. They should be dying pretty quickly when the Mother's Lament procs and the Everlasting Torment is getting proc by your critical hits. It all goes together. So as far as I have nothing, I have a little something in the sense that I'm starting to create a build with the new class that is going to be meant for PVE and for dungeons and open world. So the way I'm doing that is trying to find the synergy around what I can do with the class. I'm still new. I'm still discovering everything. But I feel like the werewolf, as far as speed and agility and rate of attack and all of that, is going to be absolutely amazing. Let me just shut off my uncle telling me some bullshit. So, okay. So again, you want to pounce. I know I'm being kind of repetitive, but I'm trying to get it in your head because it's very important. That howl is very, very, very important. So I'm going to charge up here, boom, 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 maybe do a little tornado, transform, pounce, howl, and then they're all dead. So by the time you're done howling and doing everything, your summons have attacked them a little bit, and you're kind of just finishing the job, or they're finishing the job even better, because you don't want to stay too long in one spot. So that you can kind of go to the next one, kind of burn them a little bit, transform, pounce, howl, and keep going, so on and so forth. So again, for having 0 stats, I think this build is pretty cool. And it's definitely very fun. It's probably not the best build. I mean, I might not even keep this build in the future. I just wanted to post a video to let you guys know that I started a new account. It's going to be a Druid. And I'm definitely gonna come up with some special things for you guys. Even if it's just PvE at the moment, because the PvP, once again, is kind of terrible, I'm not gonna lie. But even if it's just PvE, I mean, it'll give you some ideas. Use it as a template. Make your tweaks on it. If you have discovered a cool build, feel free to post it in the comments. I'm always open to feedback. I'm just trying to say hello, basically, with this video, and let you guys know that I'll be making some cool Druid stuff here when I get all of the essences and some Eternal stuff. Hopefully some greens and some cool legendary gems. This is all 100% free to play. And last thing I'll say is, as far as primary attacks go, I'm using Landslide. I think Landslide is way better than Ferocious Strike. It does a little bit less damage. I believe it does a little bit less damage. But the ultimate is really what I love. It's essentially a meteor shower. I fucked up and canceled it there by transforming into the werewolf. But if you saw it there for a second, it just rains down like these green rocks, and it's really cool. So again, you want to see how that little wolf, whenever you howl, they get a little wolf head on there. and they get marked, and that to me is just visually it's really cool. And as the experience goes for Druid, it's not too bad. For PVE, for PvP is terrible. Let's finish up this boss so I can close the video down and start grinding all these essences so that I can make some more cool combos. But yeah, I mean, don't sleep on the werewolf. A lot of people are talking shit about the werewolf. Don't sleep on the werewolf. It's a good skill to have. Let's see how fast we can get this boss down. So again, here I would cancel, I would charge up a little bit, and then I would transform again, pounce, howl, and then finish her off here. I think for having 0 stats, I think I'm melting this boss quite quickly for, again, having 0 everything. So once I get a little bit more of all the other stuff, I think that this is a cool build, definitely a fun build. And yeah, stay on the lookout for some more of my videos. Please comment your thoughts, what I can do to make this build better. I'm sure there's people that have figured some more things out. I just started today, so have some patience, but hopefully I can come up with some cool stuff for you. And yeah, thank you for watching.